If you've been living with depression and you feel nothing, not joy, not sadness, not connection, you're just flat. People often say things like, I don't feel happiness, I can't cry, I'm here but I don't feel alive. Everything just feels blah. Doesn't mean that you are broken. It's probably your emotions simply being numbed out. And here's the important part. Emotional numbness is not a personality issue. It's not a willpower issue. It's a temporary brain level shutdown that can be reversed. So today we're going to break down why emotions matter, how depression blunts your feelings, why antidepressants can make emotional blunting worse, and how Spravato, Esketamine reactivates your emotional range to help you feel you again. Let's jump in. First, a quick heads up. This is Marpa Minds and I'm your host, David Drapkin. I'm a social worker, psychotherapist, and an advocate for mental health normalization and innovation. Somebody wise once asked me, David, why do we have so many complex feelings? The answer, he then told me, was to feel them. That was it. Because emotions aren't unwanted byproducts of life. They are the signals designed to help us thrive. Since you were born, you've become more emotionally complex, haven't you? And this helps you to trust your intuition, identify your values and what decisions to make, to connect with the right people in the right way at the right time, and to stay safe in a world filled with uncertainty. We're not meant to have just a few emotions. We're meant to have dozens and hundreds of feelings and to feel them in a wide range of intensities and fluid circumstances. Emotions are for feeling, yes, and they are healthy and adaptive to our unique personality. A full emotional range is like a professional toolbox, with every possible tool available whenever you need it. There are everyday emotions like anger and anxiety. You can think of them like a hammer, a common tool we use all the time. And then there's less frequent, more subtle emotions like guilt or feeling excitement. These are still vital feelings, but let's call them less commonly used emotional tools. Perhaps they're little pliers for electrical work. The ability to feel both powerful and subtle emotions, as well as common and rare emotions, is a sign of a highly integrated, flexible human brain. In other words, we need 24/7 access to our hammers and our pliers in order to effectively interact with whatever life throws at us. Before I start talking specifically about depression, I want to make one quick but important point. Emotional numbness isn't calmness. You can be calm and still feel all the up and downs along the emotional spectrum. However, when someone seems calm from the outside but is actually experiencing emotional numbness on the inside, they're just numb. It's okay to be calm, but ideally we need to have that full emotional toolbox accessible too. Okay, now moving on to depression. Emotional numbness and feeling flat is one of the most common realities for people with depression, and neuroscience explains why this is. Because depression reduces activity in areas responsible for emotional processing and expression. Things like the prefrontal cortex, the limbic system, the anterior cingulate cortex, and key glutamate circuits that regulate emotional responsiveness. These areas don't just slow down, they actually become less connected with each other. In my other Marpa Minds video about depression, I actually described depression as a network illness, talking about the brain's communication highways becoming quiet and run down when they're depressed. So think about this vibrant, bustling city slowly turning into a ghost town. The city's still there, but the roads, stores, and the parks are empty and devoid of life. It's like the power of that city's been just turned off. And when our brain loses its interconnectivity, you lose your life force and colors turn to gray. Your emotional power gets dimmed. Also, emotional numbness feeds into a negative loop going round and round. You can't feel positive emotions. Your brain interprets that as, well, nothing matters then. And then that thought reinforces hopelessness, and hopelessness further shuts down your emotional circuits, worsening your emotional blunting, making your thought patterns more rigid and self-critical. And eventually, our relationships lose their meaning, our hobbies feel pointless, and the numbness spreads into all of our life's domains. But this is not you. It's depression tightening its grip on you and your emotional circuitry. Your brain becomes less integrated, less plastic, less able to generate the emotional signals that once just came effortlessly. And what about traditional antidepressants like SSRIs, SNRIs? Well, they often work by artificially boosting serotonin. It's an attempt to kickstart our quiet emotional circuitry, and this can lift the mood floor a little bit, but most of the time we're just trading depression for a low, dull state of emotional consistency. We're essentially papering over the core circuitry problem here, and patients that take antidepressants, they lose their emotional range. They lose the fluidity of emotions, both negative and positive. They prevent severe lows, but they also cap the vibrant highs and the sheer humanity of being emotionally vibrant, complex, and interactive. Spravato, or Esketamine, works differently. It works on the glutamate system, which is the brain's primary excitatory neurotransmitter. It's responsible for learning, emotional signaling, memory, and neural connectivity. Within hours of administration, Spravato can increase glutamate release, activate AMPA receptors, stimulate BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and it promotes dendritic growth, those tiny branches in our brains, the neurons that helps our cells up there to communicate with each other. And brain imaging studies actually show that ketamine literally reawakens the parts of the brain that depression dimmed down. It brings the ghost town back into a functioning city again. The lights are turned back on, the roads are bustling, and the atmosphere is pumping in our brains. This is why many Spravato patients say things like, "I felt something for the first time in months or even years. It didn't fix everything, but I can feel something shifting inside of me. It's like my emotional world is defrosted in my head." These are emotional circuits restarting and our feelings returning, sometimes gradually, sometimes more suddenly. This emotional reawakening happens because the brain is structurally changing. And over weeks, many patients that use Spravato say that they start to laugh again, enjoy simple things in life, feel warmth in relationships, or access emotions that had actually been locked away for a while. So this isn't about becoming a different person. It's about returning to your pre-depression self with your full emotional toolbox intact. Because when emotional numbness lifts, it can feel like colors returning to a washed out old photograph. Maybe not all at once, but gradually layer by layer. Healthy emotional range means you feel the highs and the lows. You're internally responsive to life again. You can react to people with authenticity, and your emotions match the moment. And this is the real goal of treatment. It's not just less depression, reduce the symptoms. It's a more emotional life. And when the brain is more connected, more plastic, more engaged, that emotional life becomes possible again. Emotional numbness isn't who you are. It's what depression does to your brain that's been overwhelmed for too long. And Spravato really does help to reverse that shutdown by restoring connectivity, regrowing the synapses, reopening the emotional world that depression locked away. All right. Thank you for watching this episode of Marpa Minds. We are a next generation network of Spravato and Ketamine clinics helping people with depression reclaim their emotional range and their mental health. Learn more at marpaminds.com. I'm David Drapkin. I'd love you to like the video here, subscribe to our channel, leave me a comment below, and tell all your friends and your family about what we're doing here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. God bless.